There's a lot of really cool deviations and entities that they're adding to Endless Dream that I think are going to make it really exciting, along with the overall aesthetics that exist with this. Like, I think that it's a really cool concept, and I think it's going to be really beautiful. I've seen a lot of pictures that people have been taking on these servers, and they look really fun. So I'm excited to see the gameplay. Of course, the Endless Dream scenario is going to be released. So the Endless Dream is something that people have been playing for a little bit, which is pretty cool. People have been doing the test servers, but it's officially released the same way that other servers will be available when you sign up. So one of the biggest draws for people for this server is that it does have full map access. And let me zoom in a little bit. So you do have full map access, which is something that people really love. I believe there are different deviants that you get that you encounter and you fight in these zones as well. And it's literally like a nightmare vibe, which is pretty cool. I mean, I will say aesthetically, this whole concept of the server, I think, is really awesome looking. I love the creepiness. So similarly to some of the visual wheels, the way that there will be stuff in the skies, there are like these eyeballs, because the whole concept is that you're in a dream, right? Which is pretty cool. So there's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and phase 5. Okay, so it looks like there are similarly 5 different phases in the actual scenario itself, which is really cool. Deep dreamers that will continuously generate light dreamers. So when you're in a dream zone, so you have different abilities that apply to you. Okay, so you can build freely, but you can't build in the dream zones, which makes sense. It's kind of similar to like dungeons and stuff that pop up in Manabus. It looks like there are additional materials that will exist in these servers. So we have Dreamweaver trees, Dreamweaver fruit, and wakeful clocks. Ooh, okay. So if you cut down the Dreamweaver trees, that's a good way to get Stardust, which is super cool. The fruit is a floating fruit. Build structures to gather them and acquire various crystals. Okay. And then there's a wakeful clock. Use tools to gather them and acquire wakeful sand. Nightmare tubes are sinister reliquaries housing twisted dream creatures. When a courageous person uses wakeful sand to awaken a nightmare tube from its dream, a minor disturbance will spill into the real world. Nightmare tubes will summon different nightmarelings. I love the terminology of these. When awakened in order of descending power. Okay. So, eternal dreamers, deep dreamers, light dreamers. You must expend reality fragments to obtain the full rewards for defeating an eternal dreamer. Okay. Okay, so it looks like these are the 3 different tiers of deviants that you'll be encountering, which is kind of fun, or nightmarelings is what they're calling them. And you use the reality fragments in order to get all of the loot that you possibly can, which is pretty cool. They all kind of like work off of each other. So deep dreamers, wraiths. We love a wraith. We love a wraith moment, except for when they float through something and then they murder you. Come from gigantic nightmare tubes, they're the source of calamity and creators of despair. Provide nearby light dreamers with nightmare specs and nearby eternal dreamers with their nightmare specs and nightmare states. Okay, so yeah, they all boost each other. The heck is a nightmare tube? They're basically what spawn the eternal dreamers, the deep dreamers, as well as the light dreamers, which is pretty cool. It appears in all dream zones. Staring at it leads to rapid strayness accumulation. They'll physically pursue metahumans who have almost gone astray in the nightmare. Ooh. If you have less than 10 minutes of activity left in the dream zone, it will teleport to hunt you. Okay, that's actually really cool. Okay, so basically what will happen here is if you're in one of the dream zones and either your strayness, which is the effect that you get over time, is super high, or if you have less than 10 minutes left in that zone, essentially the nightmareling will TP to you and just target you heavily, which is pretty cool. That actually sounds really fun. I like that because like sometimes when you're in a dungeon, you know, like you get to the end and things kind of like die out a little bit, but they have a way to kind of increase the stress there a little bit. There's dream zone entities, explosive entities, lightning entities, and evernight entities. Okay. Dread and shade deviants. Ooh. There's a lot of really cool deviations and entities that they're adding to Endless Dream that I think are going to make it really exciting, along with the overall aesthetics that exist with this. Like, I think that it's a really cool concept, and I think it's going to be really beautiful. I've seen a lot of pictures that people have been taking on these servers, and they look really fun. So I'm excited to see the gameplay.